Hey, what's going on, everybody? Rob Satch from Feedbackwrench. This video is again for the accountants, bookkeepers, tax professionals. If you're looking to start or grow an accounting practice, this video is for you. And it's because there is an urgent time upon us right now. Tax season is coming. And what I want to talk about is there's this tension at play. If you've watched any of my videos, go back on my YouTube channel, go to feedbackwrench.com. And if you watch all my videos, I make the case that the best type of accounting practice to make is one that doesn't specialize in just tax returns, because you don't want to be the typical tax accountant. And I'm going to make a case for how you have to make hay right now and how you can use your digital marketing to actually get a ton of customers that aren't just tax return customers, but would be your monthly retainer customers that pay you between, anywhere between $250 a month and $4,500 a month, depending on what it is that you are able to deliver in this client model. I call it the outsourced accountant model. And if you jump on my website, if you go to feedbackwrench.com, go for accountants here, you'll see that I've got a page that talks about our websites for accountants. You'll see that I have a whole set of articles that explain, here's all my blog posts for this. But if you go and check out my online course here, it's $500. And this $500 is going to be well spent. It will show you how to build an outsourced accounting model. And just go watch the other videos. I'm not going to hit on that right now, but here's what I want you to know. If you're trying to get business right now, I want to hit on something real quick, because there's a lot of stuff out there when it comes to how to generate a steady flow of customers for an accounting practice. Do you do LinkedIn messaging and outbound? I think there's a place for that. Do you do lead magnets to a niche on Facebook and you just do a ClickFunnels site? For the love of God, don't do ClickFunnels. Come to us. We'll build you a much better website that does everything a ClickFunnels site would do, and it won't look like spam. Or should you do, outbound calling and cold calling? And I want to show you what it is that'll actually get you customers as an accountant and as a bookkeeper. And I want to give you one actionable right now that you can set up and do that will actually get customers for you. But before I do that, what I want to do is I want to talk about this dynamic. And the dynamic is the difference between what I call the outsourced accountant model and the typical accountant. Okay. And really, it's about the typical accountant. When I first started Nuance Financial Tax and Accounting, my old tax firm, I had basically gone out and I was a financial advisor. I had my Series 7, Series 66. I was doing investments, and I had watched all these investment advisors position themselves to talk about taxes and estate planning in order to earn the business around certain financial products. And I had this great idea that I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go learn tax planning for self-employed individuals. And then I want to specialize in 401k plans, SEP IRAs, simple IRAs, and I build this plan. I go out and I find, probably between, I think it was like 7 or 8 different self-employed people, real estate agents, construction people, a guy that owned his own business. And I go out and I buy him lunch and I sit him down and I show him, like, well, here's my proposal. Do you have somebody that handles your tax planning? In fact, here's kind of, and I had a packet that I had made on Microsoft Word, and I was showing him, like, here's how to do an S Corp. Here's some examples. If you were making, 200,000 or 80,000, it kind of had some examples of how much they would save in taxes. And then it was like, bring this to your accountant no matter what. And then if you like the idea, look at how much you can save with a solo 401k, an individual K, or maybe a simple IRA. All of them said the same thing. They're like, Rob, yeah, we'll do the investment someday. But this accounting thing, this tax planning thing, my guy doesn't do that. Our accountant, we just go towards the end of the year and, like, I don't know, they tell us to make some purchases right before the end of the year maybe, and then, here, do a regular IRA. And what I realize is that the typical CPA, typical tax accountant, the typical even bookkeeper, a tax person, what it is that they sell a commoditized service. What they do is they sell, a personal tax return for $300-400, $150, whatever that is. They sell a business tax return between $500 and $1,500, depending on what they think they can get. And because they are trying to make hay during tax season, they're too busy to actually stop and pump the brakes and dive into that tax return and truly give it some analysis to identify what their financial position is, what kind of things they could do to drastically change in taxes. And it's because they're too busy. And then when I started to get to know some more CPAs, I realized that they're basically hammering through hundreds, if not in some cases, thousands of tax returns. They're just filling out the information on that tax software. They are not pumping the brakes and doing deep analysis. And that's something that I learned. So basically, we put together this little firm that would always pump the brakes. And then rather than do just tax returns, we made a model. We called it the outsourced accountant model. And when you worked with us, you would always get the same set of value propositions. And the idea is rather than get too busy doing mediocre, easy work, tax return work, we would save our capacity in order to do some really meaningful stuff. And I just want to hit on this real quick. I won't read all of it, and I'm going to get to how do you fill your sales funnel right now. I don't want to get sidetracked. It has to do with call us. We'll set up advertising and a website for you. But real quick, what I want to show you is what this outsourced accountant model does. So number one, all clients get their books set up and perfectly cleaned up, right? Number two, this is what an accountant will do for a small business. You'll take an in-depth snapshot of their taxes, their financial picture and accounting system. You got to do a snapshot. Number two, you'll create a comprehensive tax plan focusing on both the current year taxes and the subsequent year. Number four, I'm off. You'll then do all the necessary screwing around within reason to get them optimized for that tax plan, which means you do the S Corp, which means you set up the accountant. Do it for them. Don't make them screw around in this stuff. Next, you'll then keep up their books. You'll keep their books up to date with the high levels of bookkeeping, right? Do good bookkeeping for them. Then you'll set them up on the best payroll system and either run the payroll system for them or teach them how to do it while providing customer service. Remember, if they're an S Corp, they're going to need a payroll system. You'll then provide monthly or quarterly reports with real feedback and coaching throughout the year. You'll eliminate the tax liability surprises. This is huge. Eliminate tax liability surprises. When they enter quarter four, like right now, all of us business owners are freaking out. They're like, do I get a $10,000 tax return or am I going to owe $20,000? We have no idea. If somebody's not coming alongside of us to help us understand our tax estimates and to do some tax planning, particularly along an S Corp tax plan, where we're determining this payroll thing and paying it in, we have all this anxiety towards the end of the year. We have no idea what's about to happen, right? You should come alongside a business owner and be Yoda. They're Luke Skywalker. They don't know how to use the Force. They're stuck. You need to guide them through to have this peaceful situation where they've mitigated taxes. You've provided a good outcome. Next, you'll meet before year end and help them make tax mitigation decisions proactively. You'll close out the books and perform high levels of year-end reporting. You'll make the year-end tax season a breeze because you've done everything throughout the year. You'll do all the tax returns for the business owner and their family, right? You have somebody who has, sons and daughters and grandkids or whatever, just do the whole family, but only do theirs. You'll help provide wealth building strategies for the owner, bordering on being their financial planner. You're not going to be that financial planner, but you can border on it. And then you'll help them mitigate risk, recommending trusts, life insurance, disability insurance, and other simple common sense risk mitigation techniques. So what I want to hit on is that's what you're going to do. If you do that, you can charge a monthly retainer, but you can't be this typical accountant that's too busy just focusing on the end of the year. And usually the reason why you get stuck there is because you're not being a leader. You're not being a leader to that client. They're stuck in the quagmire. You have a preferred future for them. Rather than living in the nonsense of the moment, in the tyranny of the urgent, move them to the non-urgent important things and basically force them, hey, we're going to connect now to set up a tax plan for next year. And in order for you to get this, you got to be part of my model. And what we did is we made sure that we weren't doing one-off taxes. We were only sticking to our model. And by sticking to that model, we were able to deliver on a small group of clients with a high monthly retainer in comparison to everything else. So what I want to hit on real quick here is what is it that can get you in position? You got to remember that you need to do a meeting cycle. When people reach out to you, you want to set a connect meeting to get to know them, just pique their curiosity about how you can make their lives better. Number two, you got to do a good meeting or analysis. You have to dive into their accounting and into last year's tax return and even take a look at their bookkeeping and everything just to make sure you understand the scope of what they've got going and some of the tax planning opportunities. Then come to them with a proposal. And after that, you want to provide the proposal with an actual scope of work and an actual monthly billing, right? And then make them jump into that. But what I want to hit on right now is that when we do things for people, our goal as a website company for accountants and bookkeepers, how do we create a steady flow of sales for you? And I'm going to give you something away for free here, right? Really what we do is there's two things. We build a high converting website and we do marketing and we generate traffic and market share with paid advertising. We build a sweet mousetrap, and then we buy seed for your farm. We actually fuel things with advertising, right? And as you move through here, you're going to find that there's stages to this. They go through curiosity, enlightenment, and commitment. And really what's happening is we're trying to take people that are strangers, make them visitors on your content, eventually becoming a lead and eventually becoming a customer. And the way we do that is we use advertising and content, a marketing funnel, a sales funnel, and an onboarding process to help people move into sales. But here's what I want to hit on real quick. Here's what's going to help you actually get sales, guys. And I want to move really quick here. The core is paid search advertising with remarketing. Go watch my other videos. I talk about this a lot. Paid search is the most predictable thing you can do to get clients. And this is why you have to make hay right now. You need to do this. If you actually want to get in front of people, everybody looking for an accountant or a tax person, you need to get in front of right now. And if that means you get in front of 20 kind of not outsourced accountant type leads, that's fine in order to get in front of 2 really good ones. You can't be picky on the front end to a degree about the types of leads that are going to come through your marketing funnel, right? So here's what this is and you'll see me going back to this. These are the monthly average searches around these core commercial keywords for accountants and bookkeepers. And what you'll see here real quick is that there's these giant spikes, right? You're obviously in a feast or famine cycle. Accountants near me towards the end of the year and through tax season have a giant spike, 40,000 a month, but almost all of them are right here. Right now, folks, if you want to grow your business, even if you want to do the CFO model, you're doing tax planning, you're doing this outsourced accountant model, you have to have paid search advertising with a good remarketing campaign right now, because you can command market share. You can get in front of the people that are looking for this, and you can create. So the idea is you do paid search ads. You got to spend between $10 and $40 a day, somewhere in there, to get in front of people with a paid search ad that will cause them to click on your website. Now, you got to have a website that actually converts and conveys your value proposition and makes the case that you should be the one to solve their problems. But then you want to have a remarketing campaign. So once they've been to your website, you make a small audience on Facebook and Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Google Display. And I'm telling you, you don't have to spend a lot in this if you commit between $10 and $30 a day. So now we're talking, $500 to $3,500 a month, somewhere in there, to make sure that you're filling your sales funnel right now. Remember that every one of these customers that you get are probably going to be $500, $900, $1,500 a month clients. Go buy my course for $500 to learn how to actually do that. And I'm telling you, this is a super helpful course. People love it. Go to accountants, go to this online course, and what you'll see is I gotta fix that button. How do you actually get people to take a step with you and to run this amazing accountant practice? This will show you exactly how to do it. But what I want you to know right now is it's time to make hay, right? You have got to come in and get a paid search ad in front of people, because it's about timing. And if you get in front of them, have a remarketing setup, we can do that for you. But here's the bottom line, guys. Right now, there's this giant spike of people looking for solutions. They need tax accountants. And if you have a paid search ad, you will command a ton of traffic. And hopefully your CRM, I would recommend using HubSpot. We set that up for people. Your CRM will get filled with people, small business owners looking for help in this stuff. And right now, you got to do a paid search ad. You have to intersect with these keywords. If you go to my website and go to blogs, there's actually so go to blogs. Here's an article about the outsourced accountant model. Then when you come down here, here's SEO for accountants and CPAs, where we have that list of the keywords that you should be paying attention to, how many keywords there are out there. And these are keywords for SEO or for paid advertising. We'd love to help you. Go to feedbackwrench.com, like and subscribe to this video if you're seeing it. We'd love to help you actually get customers right now. Reach out. We can help you, and we can create a predictable situation where you just turn that advertising up or down and it will fill your sales funnel. Good luck. God bless. Appreciate your time.